So, you want to get your game on with your lover? If you're looking for games that will make you feel closer, take you on an adventure, or make you laugh your asses off, we have the list for you.
We wanted to find options that actually allowed for two players to participate in a video game relationship. These aren't just co-op games that involve two characters working together. These are love stories being played out in game form.
Unfortunately, these games are fairly heteronormative focused, but the core relationship dynamics and game mechanics can translate to all relationships. Whether it's romantic love or platonic love, that's for you to decide. But in the end, you and your partner will internalize that feeling of love and connection.
Co-op games for couples.
Boxboy and Boxgirl. This 2D puzzle platformer is perfect for a brain teaser experience. Team up as Boxboy and Boxgirl as you use your various box abilities to get through obstacles and reach the end of the level. You'll have to help each other along the way as the number of boxes you have available will change.
You might have to lift each other up or make a bridge for your partner, etc. These two characters are clearly in love or married because they have the same first name. It's a lighthearted, quirky game that is sure to test any couple's communication skills. I just can't wait for them to have some box babies. Degrees of Separation. Degrees of Separation is another puzzle platformer. The story follows the characters Ember and Rhyme, two lovers separated by their different worlds. Ember is a girl from a kingdom of warmth and light, while Rhyme is from a kingdom of ice. They meet one another, but are kept apart by a barrier of temperature.
You must maneuver them through beautiful, artistic puzzles, taking on challenges of hot and cold, using their respective abilities to reach a world where they can be together at last. We love the beautiful hand-drawn visuals of the game, and the dynamic split screen was very effective.
The concept of the game is compelling and caught our attention immediately, but in practice, it doesn't quite live up to its potential. In each world, you learn a new ability, but the challenge is that some of these abilities require extreme precision and don't rely on the initial concept of the game, temperature puzzles.
The two worlds that are the most enjoyable are those following challenges of hot and cold. In one world, you discover a cloak that allows you to experience the world of the other. One world gives you the abilities of electric explosion, and then the other allows you to do some bridge building with your barrier. In the final world, you are stripped of all abilities and must work together without any elemental powers.
On one hand, these lovers can finally be physically close to one another, but at the costs of losing the strengths that made them unique. Overall, the game has some satisfying mechanics, but ultimately didn't live up to its potential. The narrator is overbearing and doesn't allow for any interpretation by the player.
This game would have been perfect with just the temperature puzzles and no narrator. I'm a big fan of games with little to no dialogue. It can add some mystery and then leaves room for the players to use their imagination. All that being said, Degrees of Separation is a narrative-based co-op game where both players take equal part in the gameplay and story. We need more games like that.
And so, side by side, but with a chasm between them, Ember and Rhyme came to the castle gate and opened it together.
Haven. Haven is an RPG love story with survival game elements. You follow the characters U and K, who have landed on the planet Source in an effort to escape the fascist laws of their home. You'll be captivated by the landscape, the swaying grasslands, the epic galaxy night sky, all accompanied by a decent soundtrack. Using your gliding powers, you'll explore all corners of this scattered planet, traveling along blue energy source bridges to find supplies for your broken ship. Occasionally, you'll return to your nest, your souped-up spaceship apartment. It's a bit like Sims meets Fable.
One thing you should know is that this game is more than 70% dialogue.
Are you sure this will work?
It's not ideal, but for a lack of a better option, creamberry oil will offer some UV protection.
Much of it is unnecessary and uncompelling. For the best experience, we recommend you use the handy fast forward feature. This will allow you to remain active while exploring this beautiful world together. Despite the slow storyline, it's probably the most interactive love story that can be played between two people. Ever. from holding hands while you're exploring together, to embracing each other to heal between fights, to executing attacks that require synchronization in the turn-based battles. The connection of the characters on screen will really transmit to the players on the couch.
You could let go of my butt now.
No.
Okay.
It Takes Two. This 3D platformer is the top game of 2021 for a reason. You'll play as Cody and May, a couple in the midst of divorce. I know. Doesn't sound romantic at all, but the point of the game is for them to rekindle connection as they work together, realizing why they fell in love to begin with.
It's another narrative-based love story game. What this story got right that Haven got wrong is that the boring banter of the couple takes place while you're performing tasks. It doesn't create tons of cutscenes with idle time, and the cutscenes that do occur are only there to serve the story.
This game has been talked about so much that there really isn't any more to explain to you. If you haven't played it yet, just do it right now.
Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time. This is a space shooter that can be played with up to 4 players for all the polyamorous viewers out there. So you and up to 3 lovers work together to run the ship of love.
There are various tasks. You can pilot the ship, shoot the cannon, operate the shield, or fire the blasters. It takes all hands on deck to rescue the love bunnies that open heart portals in space.
This is truly a team effort that requires cooperation and synchronization from all players. Enjoy the challenges while listening to upbeat tunes.
You'll have so much fun with this one and your various lovers. No Straight Roads. No Straight Roads is an action-adventure with rhythm game elements. You play as Mayday and Zook, a musical duo that play in a rock band called Bunk Bed Junction. It's their goal to fight to bring rock and roll back and to defeat the EDM empire.
The combat system is centered around music. Players are able to move around freely, but will have more success in battle if they listen to the music and attack and dodge on the beat. There are musical notes you can pick up and use as projectiles.
Each character has their own unique abilities. Mayday's attack deals out more damage, while Zook is able to create longer combos. The story and characters aren't really our cup of tea, but it's still refreshing to see a story-focused game built around co-op.
Move left.
Like this?
More. Left. Yahoo! For the little guys.
Pode. Pode is a co-op puzzle platformer about a rock trying to help a fallen star get back into the sky. Pode is a work of art. From the atmospheric score, to the story, to the simplistic yet cryptic gameplay, it does everything right. It has emotional depth as well, all while keeping an optimistic tone throughout.
This is a game that utilizes my favorite form of storytelling for video games. The story is told with a 0 dialogue. Everything is shown through actions and gameplay. If the games we mentioned above took notes from Pode, I feel that their stories would have been much more satisfying. I remember being intrigued by Pode when I first saw the trailer for it around the Nintendo Switch launch. I don't know why it took me until now to finally try it out, but I'm glad I did.
I've listed this as one of my favorite co-op games of all time. This is the perfect game to play with a lover.
Red Rope. Red Rope is built to test your relationship. This one has more of an eerie feeling, a bit darker, but with interesting pixel design. The whole game revolves around good communication and teamwork.
Each player holds one side of a red rope. You must work together and move in unison to effectively get around the map. If one player doesn't cooperate, you both die.
The only weapon you have at your disposal is the single red rope. When an enemy gets close, you and your teammate have to wrap the rope around them while avoiding any contact with the opponent. If done effectively, they will vanish.
This is easier said than done. This game is the definition of easy to play, hard to master.
Stardew Valley. We don't need to get into details about what Stardew Valley is. Everyone knows it. But I do want to briefly talk about the split-screen co-op experience. Basically, you are able to play through the entire story of the game with another player.
This greatly speeds up some of the monotonous tasks like chopping wood, planting and watering plants, and gathering various items. When you're done doing all of your chores together in real life, you can now relive them in a digital world. So this might be the most realistic relationship in all video games.
Did you know you can marry your co-op partner in the game? Can you think of any other games with this feature?
Snipperclips. Snipperclips is another game all about cooperation with tons of hilarity. You and a partner must work together to solve various puzzles. Sometimes the goal isn't immediately obvious and will require some creativity from the players.
This is one we could play again and again. You'll be sure to have plenty of laughs as you cut each other into odd shapes, transfer items to their goals, and do whatever it takes to solve a puzzle. Snipperclips is just all around lighthearted fun.
Voyage. We already talked about Voyage at length in our top 10 co-op games of 2021 video, but we wanted to bring it up again in the context of relationships. This has to be one of our favorite relationships in a game. Like Pode, the game is prepared perfectly and has no dialogue. It's unclear what the dynamic is between the two girls, but one thing is clear: they have an undeniable love for one another.
The gameplay is pretty simplistic. The puzzles won't create any frustration for you and your partner during your playthrough. There is little to no conflict in the game, at all. It's really just about the experience. It's an experience that should be shared with someone you're close to. Even though the story is cryptic, the game fully displays a feeling of connection.
You have to work together to move objects. At one point, you'll have to help the other player up after a fall. You can even give each other hugs for no game purpose other than love. Voyage is great at setting a tone, a feeling, a bond. If this game doesn't make you feel things, you have no heart.
Voyage never gets mentioned. If you are to take away anything from this video, it's that Voyage is great, and you should play it.
If you or your partner know of any other games made for couples, let us know in the comments.
Thanks for watching.
Smash that motherfucking like button, you little toad. Bebop, stop, pop, sweat, shotgun, drop, bar, up, flop, chop, slop. Co-op.